Hey, Joe Walsh here. This is why we love Trump. He punches the media. We'll talk about it when Freedom returns at 5.
Good morning, Dan and Amy. Switching gears here. Model that could be scaled in these difficult times where, because of federal subsidy, college education, college tuition has spiraled beyond the realm of most middle-income families, at least those families who don't want their children coming out of a four-year university with high five-figure or six-figure debt.
You know, I met a kid over the weekend, African-American kid from Inglewood, who graduated, owes $112,000 in student loans.
Yeah.
And he said, Amy, if I can, and he's just lucky he got a job at Trader Joe's because they have great benefits and he's very fortunate. But he said, if I did it all over again, I would have gone to a trade school.
Well, or maybe Praxis. I hope your two sons, Peyton and Eli, are listening because they can save their mom a lot of money and perhaps make a lot of money a lot quicker and get off on their careers. This guy from South Carolina, Isaac Morehouse, has started a company that puts teenagers on a path to apprenticeships and jobs in the professional world, as opposed to the collegiate track where you pile up the $112,000 in debt that you described. For more on this innovation disrupting higher education, we're pleased to be joined by Isaac Morehouse. Isaac, thanks for being with us. Appreciate it.
Hey, thanks, Dan and Amy. And I live in South Carolina, but I grew up just across the lake from you in Kalamazoo, Michigan. So I'm a big Chicago Cubs fan, lifelong.
Oh,
there you go.
wow.
See,
all right, thank
that's
you
why
for
I love
joining
him.
us, Isaac Morehouse. You're done here.
I love him even more, and Dan died a little inside.
And by the way, everybody from up here is moving to South Carolina, like the Charleston area. Man, that's a fun place.
Yep, that's where I live.
So Isaac, give us the elevator pitch for your program. What's the concept?
Yeah, I mean, really, Praxis is all the things you need to build a great career in the shortest amount of time possible. So it's a 6-month professional boot camp followed by a 6-month paid apprenticeship at a startup. And when you hear startup apprenticeship, you probably think, oh, okay, so I've got to be like a computer programmer. And it's actually not the case. What's awesome about it is we focus specifically on non-tech people. So we get young people anywhere from 18 coming right out of high school. We get people who are a couple years into college, decide that they're fed up and they're not getting anywhere. And we get college grads. And they join the program. We have this intensive boot camp where we really equip them with all of the skills that they need to take control of their career and not just like blast out a resume and hope that it does the work for them. And then we place them in this startup where they're doing things like marketing, sales, really interesting, fascinating work for 6 months. And at the end of the program, 98% of our grads get hired full-time, and their average salary is $50,000, and almost none of them have college degrees.
And that's a 6-month program. So you're talking about 19-year-old, 20-year-olds making $50,000.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, just had a graduate recently. We placed him in a startup out in San Francisco, and he wasn't even done with the 6-month apprenticeship. They hired him on full-time like 3 months in. And he's 18, doing video production stuff for a really cool software company out there, and he's making like $60,000. So, it's not easy. It's hard, but the kind of things you need are not things that are like you have to just be lucky enough to be born with them. We're talking like hard work, drive, independent thinking, creativity, not just following rules, checking boxes, but thinking about how to create value for others. And that's the kind of stuff that we really have to inculcate in that boot camp.
And how many? So, what's the average age? I mean, if you're in your 30s and you want a career change, can you become part of the group?
We really focus on about 18 to 25 range. The average age is probably 20. And that's primarily because once you get a little bit older, like our specialty is really working with that raw talent that doesn't have a lot of experience and getting them that first apprenticeship experience. It's harder. It's kind of a different market once you get older than that. We have had people as old as 30 that we've been able to work with successfully, but it's just not really in our sweet spot.
Yeah, sorry, Amy. There's no room for you at the end. So I just want to make sure this is in Trump University. So give us the price point and the apprentice program. Give us the economics of the program from the consumer perspective.
Absolutely. So it's a 1-year program. It costs $11,000. and you earn at the apprenticeship about $14,000. So at the end of the year, you net out basically at zero cost. In tuition, you can pay tuition all up front, or you can, spread it out and pay it in installments. But the goal is to make it as accessible and affordable as we can, and really by having the apprenticeship cover, tuition. I think it's pretty awesome. I mean, we get people a lot of times who are skeptical because they're like, it sounds too good to be true, because you're telling me that I do this one-year program, I come out, 98% of grads are getting hired, and the whole thing doesn't cost me anything when I net out what I earn from what I pay. And there's a lot of skepticism of that, but I assure you, this is real. We have real people, real graduates, real participants, and it does work. And it's a simple model. I mean, the apprenticeship concept is very old, and it works very well. And it's kind of gotten lost amid all the sort of subsidies and paper chasing.
So how long have you been around, and how many people have you helped?
So we've been around for about 3.5, almost 4 years now. We have 50 graduates, and then we've got a little over 100 people currently in the program, and we add new participants every month. We launch a new class.
And
so it started very, very small. The first class was 6 people, and it was like, all right, let's prove to the world we can make this thing work. And now we just added, this month alone, we're 14 people. So we're growing.
And I assume that there are business relationships you've developed where you have, success rates with placing your apprentice graduates.
Yeah, absolutely. So one of my favorite stories, there's a company called PandaDoc, and they're based in San Francisco. They actually just opened up an office in Florida as well. And they are about to take on their 12th Praxis apprentice. They love, this is how they staff their sales department, basically. They bring in our apprentices, really young and raw, but they've got the drive, they've got the right mentality and work ethic, and they know that they're quality and that they've got the right, the right attributes that they need, and they know that during this apprenticeship, we're going to support them and they're going to be able to bring them on. And they're bringing in apprentices, and they're hiring them, promoting them. Almost every month, another participant gets sent there, gets promoted. So yeah, it's been great. We have a lot of great. Businesses are hungry for this. That's the easy part. That's the easy part. Businesses are hungry for talent.
Yeah, it's interesting because I think of like the Peter Thiel Foundation scholarships, where he recruits kids who have a great entrepreneurial idea out of blue chip schools, Ivy League, and so forth, and gives them $100,000 of seed capital to leave school and go start their business. But this is a bit of a different market. You're talking about young people who have talent and raw talent. It needs to be funneled. They need to get into the workforce and develop their skill sets and work up the corporate ladder. Maybe they someday be entrepreneurs. Maybe they're not, and they just work for different companies. But it's this obviously opens up the possibility of finding success without that threshold clearing bachelor's degree for a much greater number of young people.
Yeah, that's exactly right. Because really, they say all businesses are started, to scratch your own itch, and it's kind of starting with people who are more like me. Like I wasn't ready to go start a business when I was 18, 19.
Right.
I thought college was kind of wasteful. I didn't really know what else to do. I worked all the time. I always had jobs, but I was entrepreneurial minded, but I wasn't ready yet. I wasn't at that point where I'm like, I've got this great idea that I invented in my garage. I'm going to go start a company. And so I kind of felt like I had no options. And now I know enough from working in the marketplace, for a decade after graduating, that the degree doesn't really do much for you anyway. If the degree is the most interesting thing about you, you're going to have a really hard time. You're going to end up, at a restaurant or something that you probably could have done without a degree. You need something more than that anyway. And so why not bypass that whole process? Why not go get it now? There is more opportunity than ever in the marketplace. It's never been easier to start a business or to go do amazing work with entrepreneurs. But people are coming out of school totally unable to seize the opportunity. All the things they've learned in the classrooms are not applicable to the opportunities in the market. And so just saying, hey, look, you can take control of your career and not just sort of wait and hope that somebody chooses you because of some degree you have. And you don't have to be a genius coder. You don't have to be ready to start your own business. You can come alongside entrepreneurs right now and get to work, and you will be so far ahead in your career. Some of our grads are saying, yeah, my friends are like 18, 19, 20, 2 years into college in debt, and they're already getting panicky and depressed. And here I am. I've got a year of work experience under my belt. I just got promoted. I'm making $50,000, and I'm loving it.
Yeah, and
There's a better way.
yeah, you find out just how limited the application is for that $250,000 gender studies degree you get. DiscoverPraxis.com is the website, the company Praxis, DiscoverPraxis.com. Very intriguing idea. Isaac Morehouse, thanks so much for joining us. Good luck with the company.
Hey, thanks. I'll take you to a Cubs game when I'm in Chicago.
Very
Oh,
good. I
there you go.
appreciate that so much. Thank you.
And he joined us on our turnkey.pro answer line.